Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The engine sputtered as the spacecraft rattled and pitched through the violet-hued atmosphere of Elethera. A vibrant world sprawled beneath him, alive with iridescent flora and fluttering creatures. The sight mesmerized Sebastian, but he couldn't afford to be captivated. An emergency beacon blared in his cockpit, warning him of imminent disaster. For 105 years, human technology had floundered in a cosmic black hole of tragedy. No communication, no support, only the faint memories of Earth to guide him. As he took a final glance at the swirling storms outside, he braced for impact, sweat beading on his forehead. Sebastian's mind raced. He had volunteered for this mission, ready to uncover remote worlds, perhaps even dwell among them. Little did he know, Elethera had not welcomed a man in over a century. It was a place of feminine energy, shaped by the absence of the male gender after a catastrophic event left the planet devoid of men. The alien women thrived, but deep-seated biological urges to mate simmered, a flame waiting for the right spark. Once a captain, now merely a survivor, Sebastian felt the weight of his crew's memories crush him. The brave faces of his team flashed through his mind, friends he would never see again. He stifled a sob and directed his focus to the control stick, fighting to keep the ship steady. His brow furrowed. Loneliness clawed at his chest like a beast waiting to escape. As the ground rushed closer, sleek green and gold collided with the darkened cockpit. Metal shrieked and crumpled around him. Time slowed. Thoughts crystallized. As his ship finally succumbed to gravity, a chill swept over him as he realized he was plunging into the unknown, a world filled with alien women yearning for connection, and he would be the key. With a violent crash, the spacecraft finally skidded across the alien ground, throwing Sebastian into darkness, oblivion greeting him like an old friend. As his mind wavered, the hum of the universe faded, and he drifted into unconsciousness, utterly unaware that he was about to awaken to a life that would change everything. Sebastian awoke to the sharp tang of alien air filling his lungs, and the sound of chirping creatures intriguing enough to pull him from the embrace of unconsciousness. He groaned, disoriented, his body heavy with aches and pains. As he slowly opened his eyes, he was met with a vibrant sky awash in hues that no human eye had ever seen. Brilliant purples and shimmering gold swirled above him, dancing like spirits in the breeze. Pushing himself up, he scanned his surroundings. His spacecraft lay in debris around him, fragments of metal and glass glistening ominously. The ground was a carpet of lush purple grass, soft and inviting. He felt an instinctive anxiety. Was he alone, or did he already intrude on a world that was never meant for him? As if in answer to his question, a rustling sound stirred in the underbrush nearby. Sebastian's heart raced as he turned his gaze toward it, fists clenching. From the vibrant foliage, figures emerged, tall, lithe women, their skin a reflective blue, shimmering under the otherworldly sun. Long, flowing hair framed their faces and cascaded down their backs like waterfalls of color. Shock washed over him, followed quickly by a rush of adrenaline. He scrambled to his feet, instinct propelling him backward. Were they hostile? The women approached him cautiously, their curiosity evident in their large, almond-shaped eyes, which shimmered like jewels in the light. Human, one of them whispered, her voice melodic, resonating deep within him. It sent shivers along his spine, both enticing and intimidating. Sebastian's mind raced. His training as an astronaut had not prepared him for this. The alien women approached him cautiously, their body language exuding a mixture of intrigue and desire. The air thickened with an unearthly electricity that danced around them like a tempest, enticing yet terrifying. His instincts flared as he backed into the wreckage, feeling cornered. The women halted, tilting their heads in unison. The longer he stared, the more he noticed their differences. One had luminous markings on her arms. Another wore a necklace of strange gemstones. A communique ran through them. He could feel it. An unspoken bond. A stark realization that this moment was profoundly significant. They began to gesture, their slender hands beckoning him closer. A softness mixed with an underlying force that sent another jolt through him. Unable to resist the pull of their allure, he took a hesitant step forward, his heart racing with every beat echoing against the stillness. "Safe," the same one murmured, placing her hands together, then opening them toward him. Her blue-green eyes locked onto his, holding a warmth that simultaneously soothed him and urged his trepidation. Understanding neither their language nor their customs, Sebastian stumbled forward, drawn by the mesmerizing physicality of their forms. Yet, the primal instincts in him warred against rational thought. They were foreign, potentially dangerous. The group shifted, creating a circle of curious, yet wary onlookers. One stepped closer, the tension sizzling between them. She extended a hand, the gesture rich with meaning, an invitation or a challenge. Sebastian felt heat rise in his cheeks as he glanced down at her palm. Was it possible that they wanted to touch him, to forge a connection? His breath hitched in his throat as he reached out tentatively, brushing his fingertips against her skin. Her face lit up with something akin to joy. The sensation was unlike anything he had felt before. Warmth radiated from her touch, flooding him with both exhilaration and fear. He recognized in that moment something had awakened in him. Sebastian's emotional conflict was palpable, a yearning intertwined with dread. He was about to navigate an alien world governed by a society that had survived without men, and yet craved the connection he represented. The air was heavy with unspoken possibilities, and as he drew back, he could see the glimmering sheen of hope, and perhaps desperation, reflected in their eyes. Now, caught between wonder and uncertainty, Sebastian wondered what fate lay before him. With every beat of his heart, he could feel the potential for chaos or harmony, and the seeds of a new journey began to take root within him. Sebastian found himself swept away in a whirlpool of sensations. The mesmerizing alien women surrounded him, their large eyes glistening with an energy he couldn't fully comprehend. Though they were undeniably beautiful, there was an underlying rawness to their presence that both fascinated and frightened him. It was clear that he had become the object of their curiosity, perhaps even their longing. Days turned into a blur as he began to acclimate to his new surroundings. The alien women took it upon themselves to care for him, leading him to a makeshift shelter in a nearby grove, woven from shimmering leaves and petals that reflected the ambient light of the 3 moons above. Their laughter, a harmonious sound that echoed in the air, sounded strange yet comforting, the vibrations making his skin tingle. Sebastian learned that communication would be a challenge. The women spoke in a harmonious language rich with intonation and rhythm, a musical cadence that was both alien and enchanting. Attempts at language mixing were awkward at first. He noted how they mimicked his expressions, a fascinating interplay between different forms of communication. It was not long before he grew accustomed to their gestures and little nuances. They pointed to objects, demonstrated actions, and shared laughter as they stumbled through language barriers. In his quiet moments, he frequently marveled at the cultural dynamics that shaped their society. The women tilted their heads and shared tales of their history, rich with art and music, woven around the absence of men. They spoke of how, in their isolation, they had discovered new ways to express connection through song, touch, and dance. Their society had evolved in shades and layers, a deep tapestry of creativity born from necessity. Yet, beneath it all, he sensed a stirring need, the craving for something he epitomized a male. As days passed, he could feel the underlying tension, a yearning that pulsed through their interactions. The women were curious about him in ways he hadn't anticipated. They peppered him with questions, probing him with their eyes, and beckoning him forward into their uncharted territory. Every time he felt their soft hands graze his arms or shoulders, something primal stirred within him. Urges long buried in the recesses of his mind rose to the surface, battling against the rational part of his being. One night, while the moons bathed them in silvery light, Sebastian found himself sitting with the group around a fire. They had gathered to share stories, a cultural practice that had piqued his interest. The mesmerizing glow illuminated their features, making them appear almost ethereal. He listened intently as they relayed tales of bravery and love, of heartache and hope, emotions that transcended language. It was during this gathering that he caught a glimpse of a woman who had captivated his attention. Her name was Zara. She had a presence that was a force of nature, her spirit vibrant. When she spoke, a tantalizing energy surrounded her, and her laughter echoed like music through the air, weaving through his thoughts and pricking at the fabric of his consciousness. As she shared a particularly wild tale, she made direct eye contact with him, an intimate moment that sent a jolt of awareness through his body. The kinship the aliens had created among themselves was an essential element of their society, yet he sensed that outside this close-knit circle, there was an embarrassment of desire for something, or someone other. His arrival had stirred deep-rooted biological instincts that had been laid dormant for far too long. As Zara spoke, Sebastian caught glimpses of vulnerability surfacing beneath her composed exterior. He could see in her expression the hunger for connection. It mirrored his own, and he felt a magnetic pull drawing him closer to her. He wondered what it would be like to delve into their world, to bond with one of them amidst the chaos of their societal dynamics. But fear lingered like a shadow, a reminder of their differences. Days turned into burgeoning weeks, and as he became more integrated into their society, he began to participate in their rituals, absorbing their culture like a sponge. They sang melodies that lifted his spirit, their voices blending in harmony, sending ripples of joy through his heart. Yet, amid the joy, there persisted a tension that peppered their interactions, an undeniable attraction that left him both exhilarated and apprehensive. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in a riot of colors, Zara approached him. Her gaze was steady, the longing in her eyes piercing through the veil of differences that separated them. "Sebastian," she said, her voice soft yet commanding, "you are not like us, but we feel your spirit. What do you seek here?" His heart raced as he confronted her questions. It was an invitation, a challenge that demanded honesty. "I seek to understand," he replied, feeling the weight of sincerity in his voice. "I'm here to explore, and perhaps to find a connection." Zara nodded slowly, her eyes glimmering with understanding. "Connection is what our hearts long for. But you must know, we have waited for so long. For us, you are more than a man. You are hope." As her words hung in the air, a tide of emotion swelled within him. Hope, indeed, lay on the horizon, illuminated by the sparks of desire flaring with every breath he took. This was a crossroads, his past left behind, and ahead, a new path emerged, fraught with uncertainty but rich with promise. With each encounter, with every shared laugh and moment of intimacy, he found himself drawn deeper into their world, a world shaped not only by their history, but also by their unforgiving need for connection. And as he stood on the precipice of what was to come, he realized that the real adventure was not just in meeting them, but in intertwining his fate with theirs. Sebastian felt the shifting tides of his reality as curiosity and yearning collided in a cacophony of emotions. Each day blurred together, rich with the vibrant culture of Elethera, yet marred by an undercurrent of tension. He could sense it growing between him and the alien women, particularly Zara. It was palpable, a potent mix of desire and apprehension that stalked every interaction, every fleeting touch. One bright morning, the tranquility of their existence was jarred when Zara's laughter halted mid-sentence, her expression twisting with concern. Sebastian followed her gaze, suddenly aware of distant figures approaching from the edge of the grove. They were tall and proud, the sunlight catching glints off their intricate adornments and armor. Their entrance disrupted the harmony that had cocooned him, the atmosphere thickening with uncertainty. The newcomers were alien women unlike those he had come to know. They seemed fiercer, their features sharper, radiating authority and power. Murmurs swept through the gathered group, an uneasy tension crackling in the air. Sebastian felt apprehensive, instinctively stepping closer to Zara, wanting the safety of her presence. Zara's expression shifted from surprise to resolve. "Stay close," she murmured, her voice a silken whisper. The leader of the new group stepped forward, her confidence palpable. "You've brought a man among us," she stated, her tone both challenging and intrigued. "We must determine his purpose." The words hung heavy in the air, the weight of them pressing down on Sebastian. He shrank slightly under her gaze, suddenly aware of how vulnerable he was. Everything he thought he understood about this alien society feels reduced to a mere shadow, oppressed by the fierce scrutiny of those who seem to wield power. "I come in peace," he said, forcing steadiness into his voice as he met the leader's eyes. "I wish to learn and understand your ways." "Understand," she repeated, scoffing as she took a step closer, invading his personal space. Her presence was overwhelming. "You cannot understand unless you embrace the essence of mating, our greatest desire." Sebastian's heart raced. The implications of her words washed over him like a wave of ice water. He shifted uncomfortably, glancing at Zara, whose face betrayed a mixture of disappointment and fear. The eyes of the assembled group settled on him now, intense and expectant, as if demanding he fulfill a role, a task. "You are a curiosity to them," Zara whispered, her voice barely audible against the fervent energy around them. "But if they see you as a prize, tensions may escalate." He felt the weight of her words. Was he a mere pawn in their society, an object of desire rather than a person? Each day, he had endeared himself to the women, and yet, could he truly be trusted not to incite rivalries? Growing dread tightened around his chest. The leader held her position, her demeanor fierce and resolute. "You will participate in the rite, a test of vigor and union with us. Only then will we know if you are worthy of acceptance." "Right." Sebastian shook his head, confusion clouding his thoughts. "What kind of test? I'm not." "Do not insult us with your reluctance, human," she snapped, her voice like crackling thunder. "You will be tested in body and mind. If you deny this, it will be evident that you are unfit." Sebastian's pulse quickened. The fear of losing his newfound connections and place among these women shot through him. Yet, dread and confusion intertwined, creating a treacherous storm within him. Could he withstand the rite? And if he did, would he truly want to be accepted in a way that felt so raw and primal? Zara's hand slipped into his, grounding him. "You do not have to agree," she urged softly, her eyes pleading and fierce. "But this decision may define your existence here." Turning to face the new leader again, he could see the expectation in her gaze, a fierce hunger promising challenges he hadn't anticipated. He hesitated, uncertainty creeping in as he weighed his options. "If this means acceptance, then I will participate." A flicker of surprise crossed the leader's face, replaced too quickly with satisfaction. "Very well. Prepare yourself for the rite at sunrise." He felt a tremor run through Zara as she squeezed his hand tighter. In that moment, understanding crystallized between them. He was stepping into a world where bonds and connections were laced with the looming shadow of rivalry, and every action held potential significance. The community cast glances of both intrigue and jealousy, a palpable charge filling the air as if the very fabric of their society tightened around him. As night cloaked the grove, Sebastian lay restless on the bed of soft foliage, visions of the rite swirling through his mind, mixed with predictions of fierce competition. Everything was woven into the vulnerability of his heart. How could he emerge from this unscathed? The weight of expectation loomed heavily over him. What would acceptance mean? Would he truly be able to navigate this alien society? Or would he become another casualty in their relentless desire? As dawn broke, he would soon face the answers he sought, yet uncertainty clawed at him, a reminder of the fragility of bonds in a world ruled by instinct and emotion. The first light of dawn broke over Elethra, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink. As the sun rose, its rays poured over the grove, filtering through the leaves and casting a kaleidoscope of colors onto the ground. Sebastian lay awake, the weight of anticipation heavy on his chest. He dressed quickly, the urgency of the moment weighing on his mind. He couldn't shake the uncertainty that clung to him, a palpable reminder of the challenges ahead. When he stepped outside, he was greeted by the presence of the alien women who had been his reluctant caretakers. They gathered in a clearing, their faces glimmering with excitement and trepidation, eyes wide and shining. Zara stood among them, her expression a mixture of worry and fierce determination. She approached him, her movements fluid and graceful. "Are you ready?" Zara asked, her voice barely above a whisper, her eyes searching his for something he couldn't pinpoint. Sebastian nodded slowly, though inside, uncertainty twisted like a vine around his heart. "I'll do my best." Zara's hand brushed against his, offering comfort. "Remember, you are not alone. We are with you." Her touch sent shivers down his spine, igniting a yearning deep within him. He sought solace in her courage, hoping her presence would help him to navigate the treacherous waters ahead. As they made their way to the center of the grove, the air thickened with anticipation. The alien women encircled a wide, earthy arena, nature itself woven into the very fabric of the rite. The anticipation was palpable. Sebastian could feel the tension crackling in the air like static electricity. He glimpsed the formidable leader from the previous day, her posture poised, an undeniable aura of authority surrounding her. "Welcome, Sebastian," she boomed, her voice echoing off the trees. "Today we shall witness the rite, a test of your strength, intellect, and desire. Prepare yourself for the challenges ahead." A hush descended upon the gathered women. They watched with keen interest, a mixture of admiration and intense scrutiny in their gazes. Sebastian's heart raced in response, the weight of their expectations pressing down on him as he was thrust into the spotlight. The leader explained the challenges he would face, each one designed to test his endurance, commitment, and understanding of their ways. It was not just a trial of physical prowess. It was a measurement of his willingness to connect on a deeper level, emotionally, culturally, physically. As she spoke, a knot of anxiety tightened in his stomach, but amidst the unease lay a flicker of resolve. The first challenge was one of strength, a contest of hand-to-hand combat. He would face one of their strongest women, tasked not just with defeating her, but understanding her. The women called it a dance of connections. Sebastian squared his shoulders as he stepped into the center of the arena, locking eyes with his opponent. She was tall and muscular, with an intimidating presence. Yet as they circled each other, he felt a shared understanding blossom, a flicker of mutual respect beneath the surface. As the challenge began, they exchanged moves, not with malice, but with a grace that communicated volumes. Each touch, each impact, was laced with energy that crackled between them. Sebastian focused on the rhythm of the movements, channeling his fear into determination. Here he was, not just as a combatant, but as a bridge between their worlds. He felt every blow land and every movement flow like a dance that drew him deeper into the fabric of their lives. After an intense exchange filled with striking blows and deft dodges, they engaged in a final embrace. It was powerful yet nuanced. The silence that settled was marked by astonishment, and the alien women erupted into applause, their voices ringing like chimes through the grove. "Good strength, human," the warrior said, her breathing heavy, but her gaze filled with respect. Sebastian grinned, adrenaline rushing through him. Maybe he could fit into this world after all. The second challenge focused on emotional understanding, a shared storytelling session. He and Zara would recount their most profound experiences, memories forged into thoughts that would foster intimacy. As he delved into his past, recounting the moments that shaped him, the childhood, friendships lost, the isolation of space travel, the alien women listened intently, captivated by his sincerity. When it was Zara's turn, she spoke of her people's history, the loss of men, the determination to thrive, the yearning for connection that simmered beneath the surface. As she spoke, he could see the pain etched into her features, a reminder of the collective resilience of her people. Their stories intertwined, and in that moment of vulnerability, something stirred deep within him, a bond forming, fragile yet unbreakable. The final challenge was the most intimate, a ceremonial embrace, where he would connect with them all, expressing unity and acceptance. As each woman stepped forward, he felt their energy ripple through him. The air crackled with unspoken desires, and as they wrapped their arms around him, he sensed the vastness of their emotions. The loneliness, longing, and hope all swelled around him as they connected. Through the embrace, Sebastian drew strength from Zara's presence, feeling the warmth radiate from her being and the shimmering connection they had begun to forge. In that moment, he knew, no matter how different they were, a part of him belonged to them, as their hearts became intertwined with his. As the ritual concluded, the crowd erupted into cheers, their voices filled with a mix of appreciation and anticipation. In that instant, Sebastian felt the weight of their world lift off his shoulders, replaced by a sense of belonging, a profound understanding that he was now part of something larger than himself. "Welcome, Sebastian," the leader announced, her voice ringing through the air with authority and acceptance. "You have proven yourself worthy." As the warmth of their acceptance enveloped him, he stole a glance at Zara, whose eyes sparkled with pride and determination, a promise that this was only the beginning of a journey that would intertwine their destinies forever. The celebration that followed the completion of the rite enveloped Sebastian like a warm embrace. The alien women danced under the radiant light of Elethera's twin suns, their movements fluid and mesmerizing. Laughter echoed through the grove as they sang songs rich with ancient lore, weaving tales of bravery, love, and jarring loss, igniting emotions within him that he had buried behind years of solitude. Sebastian sat among them, his heart swelling with gratitude and belonging. He was no longer merely a curiosity. He had transformed into a bridge between worlds, a catalyst exchanged between the two societies that longed for connection. With Zara by his side, he felt the weight of expectations gradually diminish, replaced by the buoyancy of hope and renewal. As the evening wore on, the sky transitioned from glowing oranges to deep indigos, punctuated by shimmering stars that seemed to welcome him into their cosmic fold. Color flowed through their rituals. Every sound, every touch was imbued with significance, forging bonds that transcended language and culture. He had become part of something beautiful, and the thought filled him with both joy and introspection. But amidst the revelry, a tension lingered at the edges of his mind. He understood that acceptance came with responsibility. His presence would forever alter the delicate balance of their society. As the warmth of their celebrations surrounded him, he began to contemplate what would happen once he explored the depths of his connection to them. Would they embrace the future as one, or would jealousy and strife unravel the fragile harmony they had formed? His thoughts were interrupted by a gentle touch. Zara knelt beside him, her eyes dancing with the firelight. "What are you thinking?" she asked softly, concern etching her features. "I'm thinking about everything we've built together," he began hesitantly, "and the weight of expectations. Am I really equipped to change their lives for the better? What if my presence brings nothing but chaos?" "Chaos can bring change," Zara replied, her voice steady. "And change can bring understanding. You've shown them that a human heart can beat with compassion, as ours does. It's more than just the meeting of our species. It's about the promise that lies within this connection." She gestured to the women, who danced with wild abandon, each sound a demonstration of their joy, unity, and strength. He sensed the longing in their movements, a flame that bound them together. The very essence of what they had endured clung to the air like a pulse, and he realized that being a part of this world was both a gift and a challenge he was willing to embrace. Just then, the gathering quieted. The leader stepped forward again, her expression somber yet resolute. "Today, we celebrate not just acceptance, but the forging of our new alliance," she announced, her voice carrying authority. "Sebastian stands as a marker of hope, a lighthouse in our darkened seas." The atmosphere shifted, and a mixture of anticipation and apprehension surged through the crowd. "But there are concerns we must address," she continued, her gaze sweeping the circle of women. "With this union comes balance, and we must ensure that our ways remain potent." Sebastian felt a flicker of fear dance inside him. Would they view him as an outsider, an unwelcome influence? The leader turned her gaze to him, her presence as imposing as ever. "You will be tested once more, Sebastian. Will you accept the bond we now create?" The air grew thick with tension, and he could feel the weight of their scrutiny upon him. "What does this bond entail?" he asked, his voice steadier than he felt. The leader stepped closer, her eyes piercing into his. "It requires commitment to our society, to each woman whose hearts you touch. It will not be easy. You will face challenges born from both your worlds. Should you accept, you must navigate the currents of desire and ensure the path remains true." Sebastian inhaled deeply, the gravity of the moment washing over him. He yearned for acceptance, but was reluctant to impose his existence upon them. Yet, he also recognized that he had grown to care for them intimately, with a conviction that ran deeper than mere attraction. "I accept," he declared, feeling fire ignite within him, resonating with the fierce connection he shared with Zara and the others. "I will do my best to honor the bond we create, A wave of relief cascaded through the group, and the leader's face softened with approval. The cheers erupted again as they celebrated not just a union, but an evolution. It was the merging of two worlds, a promise of exploration and discovery, a commitment to celebrate differences and uncover the depths of their hearts. As the fire crackled and the stars twinkled overhead, Sebastian felt something stir within him. He was part of this alien society now, carving a niche where understanding would blossom amidst the myriad of challenges. The powerful emotions he had once tried to distance himself from now surged forward. Love, friendship, passion, seeking to conquer the raw fear that had shadowed him for too long. And as his gaze shifted toward Zara, who stood radiant amid the warmth of their gathering, he recognized this moment as merely a chapter in a tale yet to unfold. Together, they stood at the precipice of uncharted territory, a symphony woven from humanity and alien desires, a melody echoing through the echoes of time. Hand in hand, they stepped into the unknown not just as a human and an alien, but as souls intertwined beneath the vast cosmos, ready to face the adventures that awaited them on Elethera. As Sebastian glanced at the faces around him, each expressing hope, joy, and excitement, he felt the resonance of acceptance surge within him. A promise was unfolding, and he was determined to embrace it, writing a new future where both humanity and femininity could thrive in harmony.